for over 100 years. One people have rebuilt themselves again and again, from war, from loss, from nothing, into traders, builders, innovators, and industrialists. But today, a bigger question stands before Ibuland. Can hustle alone still carry us into the future? Or is it time for a new strategy? One bold enough to turn our cities into global powerhouses. In this documentary, we reveal the 3 steps that can redefine Ibuland's destiny forever. Igboland has always been a land of motion, from the trading networks of Onitsha to the factories of Nnewi, from Aba's industrial clusters to the ports of Port Harcourt that once served Eastern commerce. The Igbo story has never been about waiting for opportunity. It has been about creating it. Yet, despite the ingenuity, resilience, and enterprise that define this region, Igboland today faces a paradox. It produces some of Nigeria's most successful entrepreneurs, yet many of its cities lack world-class infrastructure. It sends traders across Africa, yet its own industrial zones remain underdeveloped. It builds billion-naira companies, yet too often these companies grow outside their homeland. So the question is no longer whether Igbo can succeed. They already have. The real question is this: what must Igboland do to become truly great? Not just successful individually, but powerful collectively. In this documentary, we explore 3 steps, not slogans, not fantasies, but realistic, proven strategies that can move the Southeast from hustle-driven survival into structured, sustainable greatness. Step 1. We must rise from individual hustle to collective institutions. Igbo success has always been personal before it became institutional. The trader who starts with a wheelbarrow, the apprentice who rises to become a distributor, the technician who grows into a manufacturer. This model, often called the Igbo apprenticeship system, is one of the most informal wealth creation systems in the world. It has lifted millions from poverty into prosperity without government support, without foreign aid, and often without formal education. But greatness, history teaches us, does not rest on individuals alone. It rests on institutions. Germany's industrial power was not built by lone traders, but by chambers of commerce, technical universities, industrial clusters, and coordinated city planning. South Korea's transformation was not driven by street hustlers, but by family conglomerates, backed by state policy, export strategy, and long-term industrial vision. Igboland today stands at a similar crossroad. The region has wealth, it has talent, it has entrepreneurial culture, but what it lacks and desperately needs are strong collective economic institutions. Instead of every businessman building alone, imagine Igbo-owned industrial banks funding regional factories, cooperative manufacturing zones in Aba, Nnewi, Onitsha, and Oka, export consortiums that move Southeast products into Africa and global markets, technology parks linked to universities in Nsukka, Owerri, and Oka. The shift from isolated hustlers to organized economic bloc is the first real step to greatness, because wealth without structure produces comfort, but wealth with structure produces power. Step 2. We must strive to build world-class cities, not just cities. Igboland has many towns, but very few true cities. A city is not just population. A city is not traffic. A city is not concrete. A real city is infrastructure, planning, services, and productivity, working together to attract talent, investment, and opportunity. Today, places like Abia, Onitsha, Nnewi, Owerri, and Enugu already function as economic hubs, yet most of them grew organically, not strategically. Markets expanded without logistic hubs, housing grew without drainage, roads formed without transport systems, factories emerged without industrial zoning. The results: energy wasted, time lost, capital misallocated. Yet the solution is not complicated. Great cities are not built by chance, they are built by design. Imagine industrial districts in Aba with 24-hour power supply and shared logistics. Tech corridors in Owerri and Nsukka linked to research institutions. Commercial hubs in Onitsha redesigned for regional trade dominance. Tourism and leisure cities in Oguta, Obudu-style resorts and cultural centers. Clean model administrative capitals that attract global partnership. Cities are not just places to live, they are machines for wealth creation. And until Ibuland treats urban planning as an economic weapon, not a cosmetic project, regional greatness will remain limited. Because history shows us something clear: nations rise through cities before they rise through flags. Step 3. Turning Igbo capital back home. One of Igboland's greatest achievements and greatest weaknesses is its diaspora success. Igbo entrepreneurs dominate markets across Lagos, Abuja, Accra, Daula, Libreville, Johannesburg, Guangzhou, Dubai, and beyond. This proves something extraordinary. The problem has never been Igbo talent. The problem has been Igbo capital flight. Factories that should sit in Aba rise in Ogun. Warehouses that should stand in Onitsha are built in Lagos. Refineries that could transform Imo or Anambra get located elsewhere. Not because the Igbos don't love home, but because home often lacks power, infrastructure, policy stability, large-scale industrial planning. Yet, history shows that diaspora capital, when organized, is one of the most powerful tools of regional development. China built itself with overseas Chinese money. India's IT revolution was powered by diaspora engineers. Israel's tech ecosystem was fueled by global Jewish investment networks. Ibuland can do the same, but not through emotional appeals, through bankable projects. Imagine structured Igbo investment vehicles that allow traders in Kano and Lagos to co-own factories in Aba. Professionals abroad to fund hospitals, universities, and tech hubs back home. Town unions to raise infrastructure bonds for roads, power, and industrial parks. Youth innovators to access venture funding without leaving the region. When capital returns home, not in charity, but in profit-seeking investment, development becomes self-sustaining. Because greatness is not about donations, it is about returns. These 3 steps: institutions over individualism, cities over town, investment over remittance, are not abstract theories. They are the exact strategies used by every civilization that moved from survival to dominance. What makes the Igbo case unique is this: most regions need to create an entrepreneurial culture. Ibuland already has one. What it lacks is coordination, and coordination, not talent, is what separates busy places from powerful ones. And the Igbo are already builders, but greatness requires becoming an architect. The next decade will decide the future of the Southeast, not through elections alone, not through slogans, not through social media outrage, but through what we build, what we invest in, how we organize. Ibuland can continue exporting its best minds and strongest capital to build other regions, or it can become the region others come to build. History does not reward those who hustle hardest. It rewards those who structure smartest. And if these 3 steps are taken, institutions, cities, and homegrown investment, Ibuland will not just survive the future, it will shape it. If you believe in the future of Igboland, not just in words but in action, then this video is for you. Like this documentary, share it with someone who believes in building the East, and subscribe to Ten10 Media for stories that inspire progress, power, and possibility. The future of Igboland is not coming, it is being built, and it starts with us.